Today on One, your daily dose of local affairs and social media commentary.
Today on One, the waiting list for housing could cause problems, says the LPM. Tukna calls out government on alleged dishonesty. Walvis Bay youth finds solution to fire problem. And young warriors to face Tunisia after CAR stalemate.
The city councillors from the Landless People's Movement LPM have expressed concern over the current housing waiting list and who deserves to be rewarded a plot from the recently announced 3,000 pre-allocated plots by the City of Windhoek Mayor Job Amupanda. The Landless People's Movement LPM spokesperson and City Councillor Shadei Governors said that the criteria to determine who should receive plots first are not clear and more time is needed to iron out the waiting list.
Because you still need to digitalize your list and you still need to make it power-proof, waterproof before you give it to the people. Hence we were asking, if you are going to allocate, who are you allocating this land to? Is it clear to the council that you are going to give it to a list that has been approved, that has come to council, and that we have said, yes, this is the genuine list that has been coming from 2000 onwards, and these are the people that are supposed to be getting that list? Who is on the waiting list and who is going to get those plots? Because people are going to come to us and say, but I was there, I did this, I was there. When the applications were done, year 2000, I was there. Who are the people that are going? We do not have a problem with allocating. How are we allocating, and is the process transparent? Because it hasn't been brought to the council to know that this is the list that we are going to give people. This is the list. These are the people that are going to be there. We haven't been given that. We haven't done due process to the pre-allocation of land within the city of Windhoek. There's a process that needs to be done. We need to do that process thoroughly before we can jump to pre-allocating, because you can also not pre-allocate land that you haven't serviced. So there are certain, what are the principles? What is the principles on that? So what we are saying is, yes, the resolution is there. We can pre-allocate. How are we pre-allocating it? How has the process been done? And has there been transparency? If that is clear, then what's stopping us?
The City of Windhoek Mayor Job Amupanda, at the announcement of the 3,000 pre-allocated plots at the municipality, said that they have to clean up the list before awarding the plots to others.
What does clean up the list mean? Clean up the list means that we need to ensure that those people who are on the list, are they deserving? Yeah? Or is it the person with 5 houses that is also on the list who's also applying? Because if you already have a plot in the city and there are people who don't have plots, why must you be in the list? So in other words, it's a very serious methodical and scientific method that we are going to use. So in other words, they must go to the deeds office and check whether these people who are on the list. So they clean up the list, they digitize it. We must have a soft copy of it, and we must also have a copy that comes to council. And then it's approved through MC and eventually through council. So that everybody knows a person who's at number 5, a person who's at number 20, and the person who's at number 500, the person who's at 2,000. It must never be a speculation. It must never be an issue of saying this is in some computer. Everybody must be able to understand. And once this process is done of the list, we also want to have it on the city's website. Once it's on the city's website, you are even able to look and assess yourself where you are, and because the list will keep changing. If we are able to pre-allocate you, you build your house, you have signed a title deed, you obviously have to get out of the list.
Amupanda indicated that they want to allocate 5,000 plots in the next 3 years.
Bring the family together with great specials like Bocomo Pro Neutro for only $33.99 and Huggies Dry Comfort Nappies Jumbo Pack for just $154.99.
I'll be your lighthouse and bring you back to me.
We're here for you.
The Trade Union Congress of Namibia has called out the government's alleged deceit of the public, singling out the Ministry of Education's recent affairs of the new curriculum. The Trade Union's Secretary General pointed out an incident by the Ministry of Education, stating that resolutions on a National Conference on Education never proposed a reduction in the years of schooling for learners, but instead rejected the exit, which was grade 10, and propagated for only one exit, which is grade 12.
You know that the current curriculum of Ministry of Education was brought down that the learner should end in grade 11 and can only proceed to grade 12 if they want to do the advanced or the former high level. And they are implementing this one as a resolutions from the National Council, from the National Conference on Education, which is not true. What's shown here is clearly indicating that they are clinged to the notions that the learner should not finish grade 12, but they should always have exit. So they have come up with a grade 11 as an exit instead of grade 10. But that was never a resolution of the council. The second aspect, we have of recent now a response from the executive directors in the office of the presidency, where she has again lied to the nations, and here we quote them what they said. We would like to assure you that this cumbersome process has been finalized now, and all the institutions' bills have been settled, and our students receive their results in due course, and they will be allowed to register for the new academic year. Upon our investigation, we pick it up that these executive directors who have spoken on behalf of a presidency have lied again, whereby the students that they have paid for, they have paid a very small fractions of the amount, and some students are not having access to registrations, and some those that have completed earlier up to now haven't received their certificates for them to be recruited permanently in the ministry.
Kavihuha further called out the Commerce Regional Council and the current state of affairs at the Fishing and Public Enterprises Ministries.
We have situations ongoing at the national airline or national carrier in Namibia, where there are massive confusions going on of one group claiming this while the other are coming up with totally divergent positions on the same thing, on which they must have a common positions, because this is a national entity that they are instructed to manage for the benefits of the nations. And the lies that have been portrayed by whoever's, you see that today the one minister says this, tomorrow another minister says this, and you don't know now what is the truth. The same can be said about the fishing industries. You heard how many times the current fishing ministry said that no, next week we will finish allocation of fish. Just continue lying and lying and lying.
The union is now calling on Parliament to enact a law that holds public office bearers accountable to performance agreements signed during their tenure in office.
Sharp shoppers spend $500 in store and stand a chance to win one of 24 Ryobi angle grinders. On sale, aluminium multi-purpose folding ladder, only $1,040. Ryobi electric lawnmower, just $3,900. Plascon Trade Pro Bright Matte White, 20 liters, $560. Aluminium entrance door in bronze frame, only $4,250. Shop now and enter to win in store. Let's build and win Shop together. Valid to 4 April. T's and C's apply.
Namibia is bleeding. Women and children no longer feel safe in the land of their birth. This is not due to war, but due to gender-based violence perpetrated by mostly men. This call is to our fathers, brothers and sons to unite against gender-based violence. Let us come together and say a big no to gender-based violence. Together, we can build a safer and better society for all. My Namibia, my country, my pride.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
With frequent occurrence of shack fires in Walvis Bay, 2 aspiring young entrepreneurs that reside in the town have found a possible solution that they believe will curb shack fires in the coastal region. The town of Walvis Bay has been burdened by frequent fires in the informal settlements over the past few years. The fires have resulted in fatalities and many families losing their belongings. The duo Joseph Kayeta and Israel Erastus came across what is known as auto fireballs on a recent trip to China. The balls are able to detect and put out a fire as soon as it starts.
When it comes to our people of transport, especially the buses that are going to the north or the truck drivers, they are the people that are most infected to this. When it comes to fire, when it occurs while you are maybe traveling, it's better when you have maybe at least 1 or 2 in your car of these fireballs, because it's a auto fire off. Whenever you place it somewhere in your car or a truck or any transport where you carry passenger or goods, it goes off on itself. Is automated. That goes off within 3 to 5 seconds whenever the heat reaches 70 degrees. So it's very important and it's very nice and it's easy to use. So if somebody needs help, we can get in touch with the people or the community or make up in a meeting so we can explain to everyone how it works and why it's so important.
Especially like the filling stations. I think there is where the fire is more to occur. I think filling stations also need this and like bakeries, restaurants, yeah. Actually this, and this is effective. Well, I guess you just saw in our demonstration that we made, it is effective.
The balls that only weigh about 1.5 kilograms and 150 millimeters in diameter can tackle most types of fires like solid and liquid burning materials as well as electrical fires. The mayor of Walvis Bay, Trevino Forbes, recently came across the 2 men at a location where they were testing the product.
From what I've seen, it really works good and will work well in the confined space. So it's a good first aid tool and something for the youth to generate some funds for themselves. Yes. So I really urge businesses, if people come to you, if the youth come to you with this product, just buy it from them. It will really help in small house fires. For example, if you see your kitchen is on fire, pop the ball in the middle, it will explode, and you give the fire department some time to come in with their water. Like our young people, the ones that are trying, I really think businesses and enterprises should really encourage these people. So when they come to you with a business idea, please try to assist them, because we are going through difficult times. And as soon as somebody tries to do something, business community, even the municipality, all of us, let's try to help these people where we can.
The ball is filled with dry powder that poses no harm to humans and animals. Each Fire X ball is maintenance free and covered by a 5-year manufacturer's warranty. The product is sold at $600 Namibian each.
Community Voices proudly brought to you by Namdeb Diamond Corporation. Good today, better tomorrow.
We are molded with the utmost intricacy, unique and ever-evolving. But we will always need a guiding hand.
The Young Warriors played out to a 1-1 draw against fellow debutants Central African Republic in their first Group B match at the Under-20 Africa Cup of Nations showpiece, which started on the 14th of February. Speaking from Mauritania after their draw against CAR, head coach James Brits indicated that he is proud of the team's performance despite getting only 1 point, but admitted that it feels like a loss for his team. The Young Warriors next face North African giants Tunisia, with Brits saying that his team will be ready in full confidence as they look to build up on their brilliant team performance against CAR.
We were supposed to finish the game in the first half already. Unfortunately, we didn't. The second half, after the start, we allowed them to come at us. Our boys started to panic. That's when they started to play the long ball, which we were very angry about. We are not a technical team because we didn't train to play the long ball. We wanted to play on our strength, which is knocking the ball around, because technically we are okay. In terms of the height, we don't have much height, so we didn't want to play the long ball. Unfortunately, that happened. Later on, we started playing our normal game again, and then created chances again. We had very good chances, which we didn't convert during the game, which is really the unfortunate part, because the more you score, the better your chance of winning, and unfortunately we didn't score enough to win the game. In terms of the approach, we will still go with our normal game, which we will try in order to press. We want to play a pressing game, but we need to improve in terms of keeping the ball. We haven't kept the ball very well at times. There were good moments during the game, but I feel we should do it more consistently. We should enforce the boys to stick to the game plan. I think we would have been much better if we had played more friendlies, but unfortunately we couldn't based on the situation that we were in. Other than that, I was really happy with the performance of the boys, but I wasn't happy with the result. But we know that we are facing giants in terms of Tunisia. But look, we are playing 11-11. They don't have more players than us. The ball is around. We will see what will happen.
On the day, Young Warriors attacking midfielder Prince Chiwetha was awarded with the Man of the Match award after controlling the midfield on the day with his fine performance and skills. Chiwetha said that his performance was complimented by his teammates as they played well together as a team.
The first match was okay, but a lot of nerves were creeping in because some of us are new with this. Like for us as a whole team, it's a new experience, so the levels are a bit higher. Meaning we had moments where we panicked, but it was okay. Just to take our instructions seriously and put it into practice in the match, and we go for all 3 points in the next match.
The Young Warriors had to fight back after going down 1-0 when they conceded in the 53rd minute, courtesy of a goal by Flory Yangao, but Penoa Kanji, who had a brilliant match, equalized in the 81st minute of the game after he calmly volleyed one into the net to make it 1-1. Namibia and CAR are both on 1 point each, with CAR topping the table as Tunisia and Burkina Faso are 3rd and 4th respectively after a goalless draw.
My name is Ephraim. I say no to gender-based violence. Do you?
In other leading stories, the Monetary Policy Committee of the Bank of Namibia has decided to keep the repo rate unchanged. The MPC is of the view that the rate remains appropriate to continue supporting domestic economic activity, while at the same time safeguarding the one-to-one link between the Namibia dollar and the South African rand. In recent economic developments, global real GDP declined in 2020 compared to 2019. Inflation rates in most monitored advanced advanced economies and emerging market and developing economies remained subdued, while monetary policy stances of key monitored economies were generally accommodative. The rate of inflation and the growth in private sector credit extension declined in 2020. The stock of international reserves remained sufficient to support the currency peg. As at the 31st of January 2021, the stock of international reserves stood at 34.4 billion Namibia dollars compared to 29.9 billion Namibia dollars reported in December 2020 MPC statement. The increase in reserves was mainly due to SACU receipts. The latest amount of international reserves is estimated to cover 5.3 months of imports, and according to the Bank of Namibia, at this level, the reserves remain sufficient to protect the peg of the Namibia dollar to the South African rand while meeting the country's international financial obligations. The next meeting of the MPC will be held on the 13th of February 2021.
Welcome to Comments Corner, your daily dose of local comments from the hottest social media pages. The National Union of Namibian Workers NUNW led a group of Namibia workers to the office of the ruling party to hand over a petition to SWAPO Secretary General Sophia Shaningwa. Upon accepting the petition, Shaningwa told the workers that being part of NUNW also means that they are members of the ruling party. Elena said the two ministers are not at fault because the decision was agreed upon by cabinet members of SWAPO. Ricky said that the workers will be paid for an entire year for no work done, and that they should do research on how other airlines around the world are making a profit. Sylvia asked where is the think tank of SWAPO if they are now using labor organizations. Epi only had one question for the SG, which is what she would do to a business that does not make a profit. Mwikundanje said with SWAPO being the mother, who then is the father? At a consultative meeting with the regional coordinators this week, the ruling party SWAPO said that it will not allow divisions in its regional structures as it costs the party millions of Namibia dollars, and the protection of the ruling party's legacy remains paramount. Moses said the SWAPO administrative leader once said that they have sufficient funds. Willem asked if the mistake the Secretary General is referring to is expelling the now leader of IPC. Charlotte said viva to the ruling party, while Thomas showed her support for the IPC. And that is all from Comments Corner. Be sure to post your comments on our social media pages for broadcast every day only on to DN1.
talk about the coronavirus outbreak here in Africa. How do you get people to regularly wash their hands when water is scarce? How do you get people to work from home when majority of Africans work in the informal sector?
People are dying and suffering.
More importantly, how do you get a vibrant and dynamic continent to stop in its tracks? Welcome to The Breakdown, BBC Africa's COVID-19 special program, helping you make sense of the crisis.
A look at the weather forecast. The Namibia interior partly cloudy and hot with a few to isolated thunder showers over the central northern regions, the Otjiwanjupa, Kavango, Zambezi and Omaheke north regions at places. It will be windy in the south and the west. The coast partly cloudy to cool with fog patches in the morning and the wind light to moderate southwesterly. Now we look at minimum and maximum temperatures across the country and beyond.
In a time of uncertainty, false news, and fear, learn on. While the world scrambles to make new sense, while the experts turn around in circles, trying to find their way back to tomorrow. Learn on. When classrooms become empty cathedrals and the trees start to bear answers, learn on. Learn on. Until every parent is a teacher and every teacher is a mentor. Learn on. Until you cross the boundaries of your mind, until you grow eyes and sprout wings. My friend, learn on. On sidewalks, on the floor, at the neighbors, in the market, in hallways, in churches, under trees, at kitchen tables, in riverbeds. Learning doesn't only happen between four walls. Learning happens in the small space of your enormous, beautiful mind. Start where you are. Use what you have. Learn on one. Invite learning in.
The biggest African